super simple. It allows me to stay back in, and it allows so much power and just so much advancement in technology and in business and commerce. So I'm really excited to begin working on this app and building the prototypes. And yeah, my name is Money Mike Fofo, and I'm a tech billionaire in the making. I started this company a while back. I wasn't sure exactly what kind of technology to offer at the time. I started off actually creating cleaning software because I was helping a business owner who needed to scale their business and otherwise wouldn't have the human capital to be able to do it, and wouldn't be able to manage all the different profiles. So I really started off helping an old buddy of mine by building the software that he would need in order to run his cleaning business. And it really did perform its job. It really would have helped scale the business. The only issue was that the way that we was building software. What I learned later is why every business should have a REST API. So as I began to shadow a lot of different business owners, creators, artists, different entertainers for the like past 2 years, basically I had to learn like what would it actually take in order to bring this brand to market. What would it take for them to be able to successfully run their business? What would it take for them to have reoccurring customers and or fans? And so on my marketing side of things, I essentially had to learn like how do you actually bring a business to market. And after just noting like all the different like documents and processes and procedures that you would need in order to bring a business to market, what I later learned, I was like, the biggest challenge is organization and trying to integrate with all these different softwares that you need in order to run your business. So initially, my approach was okay, let me build this new app that is going to basically do all the posting from all these different whatevers, all these different APIs. And I was like, wow, that's really daunting. And technology is changing like every single day. Is there a different way of thinking about this? So actually, as I was onboarding one of my musician clients by the name of DJ Brandis, I had to get like all of her branding stuff together. And as I was thinking through it, I was like, okay, Canva is a really great place to start as far as just like laying out the documents that we need. And then I thought about the fact that, okay, we're going to have to communicate this information across a lot of different platforms. Like we're going to have to communicate, the same information to her Spotify, to her YouTube, on her website, on her Instagram. And I was like, this same information is going to have to, go on different platforms. And so and then it goes back to the whole like business organization piece to it. And so that I thought about, I was like, what is like honestly the biggest challenge? Like once you actually understand what it takes to go to market, like what is the real challenge? And the real challenge actually is keeping things organized, right? Because you have to post to this channel and post to this platform and all that different stuff. And so I was like, I don't want to create another app to manage other apps. What I want to do instead is standardize the way that information is, basically ingested for business owners, brands, whatever. Like create this like standard notation where everyone has a REST API. Now, here's why that's powerful. So once I have DJ Brandis's REST API in order, I mean like the top to bottom essentially of like her business documents, her branding documents, her marketing documents, her content planning documents, her tracking and outreach documents. Like once those are modeled in a database and her REST API is up. So for REST API, so is basically in a nutshell, an API is a way for programs to speak to other programs without necessarily a user interface. Now, here's why that's powerful. Majority of the new tools and technologies that's currently being created, they all have REST APIs. So you guys may be using like the graphical user face of the technology, but typically developers have created APIs for the exact reason that I'm bringing up now. What has been missing is that businesses don't have REST APIs. So while the technology companies have been smart enough to go like, wait a second, we need to develop like our UI different from our back end. Like we don't need to put all these things together just because we interact with all these different softwares. But then these tools and technologies are still meant to solve a problem for business owners and for creators. So creators and business owners in a way have been forced to become like software managers, right? Where like I need to understand how your software works, and I still need to repeat that same information across platforms, and it's on me to maintain. Now, the reason being is because your information isn't in some standard like format. So you're forced to figure out how to get your data to match up with the tools and technologies. And as they continue to change, there's always something different. What I'm proposing, right, is to get all my business owners, all my creators on this standard way of how their data is rendered, right, via REST API. And then what we do is just work with the DevOps and engineering team of these different platforms. And what we say is like, look, here's how our data, here's like the documentation of our REST API. Make your app work with my data. Have your app pull my stuff. And in so doing, you completely like offload the work for the business owner. Once I set up their REST API and I own that, I could just directly work with the tech companies. And if we can get more, when I'm going to say not if, when we get more businesses on board, wow, that really opens up the door for developers. So I'm going to create a POV for developers, and I'm going to create a POV for business owners. Actually, let me start with the business owners. So I have recently walked into a retailer just a few seconds ago, actually, and I was essentially trying to explain that by them, getting on board with this app, it would take away so much headache. They're currently trying to essentially establish different systems in their location, and they're currently using a lot of different softwares, aka they need to integrate their systems, and they're overwhelmed. What I'm proposing is once I get their like business structure together and there's a REST API, imagine if the entire job of inventory management is to just scan a QR code, and you don't even have like you don't even need a POS system. Like your POS system is maybe like your customers coming in with a card, going to a machine and picking which flour they want, and everything is handled. Now, why would that be possible? Like, why would you not have to do your own inventory? Why would you not have to run your own POS? Like, how? Why is that possible? Now, when you work with me, you would have already had okay. So I'll tell you where that information will be stored. So in our like REST API, if you guys look at the design that I've created so far, we actually have a database that stores the information for our products and services. So we have a database called branding documents, and within branding documents, we have brand clarity documents, and one of the brand clarity documents is actually products and services. Now, our products and services REST API is going to it's going to render in JSON. That's the biggest thing. It standardizes the way data is represented, right? So this is going to be our REST API is going to render JSON information that lists out our products and services. It has our price, it has our description, etc. So all we have to do is point Clover, right? Because we like I said, it's no longer on the it's no longer the owner's job. Now it's Clover's job. Hey Clover, here is the endpoint to where my products and services work. I want this particular thing to happen. You guys do that for me. You know what I mean? You allow Clover to be the tech people and the technology people. Ditto with any other, even if it's your reward system. Like the work is invisible. The only thing that you know is that you now have an increase in sales because you have more targeted marketing, because whatever the background customer relationship management, whatever that is automatically integrated with your system because you already have like the data. You know, like when you're on board with me, like all the different apps know that your data for that particular thing is at this endpoint. And so you just allow their dev ops team to make their app work for you. The only thing that you have to do is onboard and get your data standardized so that all your different information is rendering in JSON and you're on my platform, because all these other apps are going to know I can just come to XPert Data Solutions platform and find this business and be able to get all their information from the endpoint. And especially if it's public information, like you could not even have to manage your profile. You can really allow just like their app to really take on and be as powerful as possible because they can easily grab the information they need from you because it's been standardized in your REST API. So that's like a use case for a business owner. I'm gonna give one POV for developers, and I'm gonna wrap up for today. So POV for developers. Now this is what gets me excited. You've thought of this really cool app idea, and you need some test data. And so there are different things like, world data and all that. But imagine that there's this public REST API. And I understand about security things. So these are going to be this is going to be public information or aggregated public information, right? So as far as public information, right? Let's say that you want to build some sort of something that's like similar to an Instagram or a Facebook, right? Let's just go with, matter of fact, let's go with what if you wanted to go to an app like Facebook for business, right? The reason why I'm saying business is because the REST API that I'm specifically, like the endpoints I'm specifically talking about, this is going to be public information that business owners will want everyone to know. They would want everyone to know their story. They would want everyone to know their mission, their vision, their logo, their slogan. Like that's information they want everyone to know. Like their current content. They want everyone to know that. So this is information that they would be very cool being a public endpoint. Now I'm this new developer and I want to build this new app without the owners having to do any work. I know that I can go to this endpoint and pull that information to be able to start to test and even develop my app. The business owners can benefit without even having to download any more apps. Like I, as a tech company, maintain that, especially because the tech companies typically have the resources. Like we have the technical resources to be able to scale. A lot of business owners don't. We have the technical resources, the skill set, etc. And business owners don't. Like we allow business owners to be business owners and don't force them to manage technology. We do all of that. And that's because, this app that I'm building is just like standardizing all these different business owners information and creating like the standard notation of how to access business owners information in JSON format so that everybody can go forward. Business owners can just get back to managing business and not be forced to like integrate their system with all these different tech tools and technologies. Like they leave that to tech companies, and tech companies can for real work on making their apps as just like powerful as they could possibly imagine, and knowing that they won't have the headache of like, oh my gosh, now how do I get this business or how I get this creator's information to integrate with my app? There's this standard way that their information is going to get rendered. So it's super simple. It allows me to stay back in, and it allows so much power and just so much advancement in technology and in business and commerce. So I'm really excited to begin working on this app and building the prototypes. And you guys can comment below and let me know what you guys think I should call the app. For right now, I've been calling it like standard notation. But I'll let you guys help me name the app. So looking forward to rolling out this app, guys. Peace. My name is Mike Fofo.